I finally arrived in New York. The moment I step out of the airport, I feel it. The air feels heavier, louder, and faster. This city doesn't wait. It moves whether you're ready or not. As I sit in the car heading toward Manhattan, I watch the skyline appear in the distance. Tall buildings rise one by one, almost like they're competing with each other. I think to myself, this is not just a city. This is a symbol. New York has been a gateway for millions of people. Immigrants, dreamers, artists, and workers. People who arrived here with nothing but hope. And now, I'm here too. Walking through Manhattan feels overwhelming at first. People walk fast, cars honk constantly. Sirens echo between buildings. No one looks lost. No one slows down. At first, I feel out of place. Then I realize something important. In New York, being different is normal. I hear dozens of languages around me: English, Spanish, Chinese, Korean, Arabic. This city isn't one voice. It's a chorus. I arrive at Times Square, and suddenly everything becomes brighter. Huge screens, moving lights, advertisements everywhere. It feels almost unreal, like standing inside a giant digital world. But Times Square wasn't always like this. Originally, this area was called Longacre Square. It became Times Square in 1904. When the New York Times moved its headquarters here. Over time, it turned into a center of entertainment, media, and global attention. I stand there thinking, so much noise, yet so much history. Just a few steps away, I see Broadway theaters lining the street. This is where stories come alive, where actors perform night after night, chasing perfection. Broadway began in the 18th century as a simple road. Now it represents ambition, failure, success, and resilience. I imagine performers backstage, whispering to themselves, "This is my moment." And I realize New York doesn't promise success. It only offers opportunity. Then, suddenly, everything changes. I step into Central Park. The noise fades. Trees surround me. The city pauses. Central Park was designed in the 1800s to give ordinary people access to nature. A green space for everyone, rich or poor. As I walk along the paths, I see joggers, musicians, families, and artists. I sit on a bench and think, even the busiest city needs a place to breathe. I enter the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This building holds centuries of human history. Paintings, sculptures, armor, ancient tools. Walking through the museum feels like traveling through time. One room shows ancient Egypt. Another shows medieval Europe. Another shows modern America. I realize something powerful. History isn't just dates and facts. It's human choices. Outside again, I walk along Fifth Avenue. Luxury stores line the street. Glass windows shine. This avenue represents economic power, but it also shows contrast. Just a few blocks away, life looks very different. New York teaches one lesson clearly. Success and struggle often exist side by side. I stop at Rockefeller Center. This complex was built during the Great Depression, a time when many Americans were unemployed and hopeless. Yet, instead of stopping, people built something grand. I look up at the buildings and think, even during the hardest times, people create. That idea stays with me. The Empire State Building stands tall. When it was completed in 1931, it became the tallest building in the world. It was built during economic collapse, yet it symbolized strength. I look up and say quietly, this city knows how to rise again. Inside Grand Central Terminal, time feels different. People rush past, but the ceiling shows stars. Old clocks tick quietly. This place opened in 1913. It was built to move people, but also to inspire them. I stop for a moment and simply watch. Sometimes, observing is better than rushing. I walk toward Wall Street. This is where financial decisions affect the entire world. The New York Stock Exchange stands quietly, yet powerfully. I think about how numbers on a screen can change lives, create wealth, or cause loss. History lives here too. Booms, crashes, lessons. Taking a ferry, I see the Statue of Liberty in the distance. She stands holding a torch, welcoming newcomers. This statue was a gift from France in 1886. For immigrants arriving by ship, this was their first view of America. I imagine their emotions: fear, hope, uncertainty. I feel something similar now. At Ellis Island, I learn about families who waited hours, sometimes days, to enter the country. Some were accepted, some were sent back. History here feels personal. I realize freedom often begins with uncertainty. Walking across the Brooklyn Bridge feels symbolic. It connects Manhattan and Brooklyn, past and future, different lives and stories. This bridge was completed in 1883. It was once considered an engineering miracle. As I walk, I think, progress is built step by step. Brooklyn feels different, more relaxed, more artistic. This borough has always been a place of change. Factories became studios. Warehouses became homes. New York constantly reinvents itself. I visit the 9/11 Memorial. The city becomes quiet. Water flows into deep pools where the towers once stood. Names are carved into stone. I don't speak. I don't need to. Some places teach through silence. At night, the city changes again. Lights glow. Restaurants fill. Music drifts through streets. New York doesn't sleep. It shifts. I feel tired, inspired, and thoughtful all at once. New York is not easy. It's not gentle, but it's honest. It teaches resilience. It rewards effort. It remembers history. As I stand here, far from home, I realize something. The world's most famous places aren't famous because they're perfect. They're famous because they carry stories, and this city carries millions.